What's up, guys? We are back with another Super 7 Ultimates G.I. Joe Wave 2 review, and we are wrapping up this wave with the other bad guy, or bad gal in this wave. We're taking a look at Baroness this time around. Now, she, of course, comes in our standard Ultimate style packaging. She is on the Cobra side. She's a bad guy, so she gets the blue camo treatment with the Cobra logo there on the slipcover, and you've got the embossed G.I. Joe logo on the back. Pop that slipcover off, of course, and you've got her there in the big window, Joe logo up top. You've got her dog tag nameplate down there on the bottom. And then the back of the box, just like the rest of these, you've got your map, you've got your radar screen, shots from the cartoon, as well as a sort of computer readout bio for Baroness. So let's do it. Let's pull her out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Ultimates Baroness. And this one is probably the best example of the human, well, regular humans in this wave, because she doesn't have as much exposed flesh, and her face, while not painted, doesn't seem to suffer as bad. We kind of went in the progression of worst to best, I think, with Flint, Lady J, and then Baroness kind of bringing it up at the rear. This one's also, you know, among my favorite figures in this wave. She's definitely up there with Destro, although Destro is still kind of in a realm all his own. So let's see what she can do, see how she moves around. She is very similar to Lady J. I'm sure that's not really any surprise. Her head, as you can imagine, I'm not even going to do it, cannot move at all. There is literally no movement here because of how her hair is sculpted, sitting over top of her chest and going down her back. It's just not going to work. Arms out at the shoulders. They rotate. You've got your bicep swivel. We've got single jointed 90-degree elbows. You got your hinges, got rotation at the wrist. All good there. Torso, similar to Lady J's, slightly better. Like, she can sort of tilt, but she also doesn't really want to stay either. She can sort of bobble backwards, but you can't really get her to do a whole lot more than twist in two places. So it's slightly better, I'll say, in a very small way, but it's still very much the same as Lady J. Legs go out about that far. You've got to watch this holster here on the side. Kick forward about that far, kick backward slightly. You got your twist up there at the thigh. We've got our single jointed, not 90 degree, slightly less than 90 degree knees. And then she does have a boot twist, a shin swivel there. And you've got rocker and you've got hinges down here on these ankles. She does have heels though, so you're gonna have to sort of pay attention to how you're posing her, because, you know, heel figures are ones that tend to not stand as easy, but she still has pretty solid balance. It hasn't exactly been an issue, but it's just something to watch out for. So she's very similar across the rest of this line, but she definitely matches up most with Lady J, just because female figures, they happen to be built the same way. The only other real area of concern for her is one that I'm not surprised about, but that head does leave a lot to be desired, because she really can't even, I mean, she can't even really turn her head. She can sort of crook it to the side, and that is unfortunately about it. Now, articulation aside, I do think she looks really good. We do have to talk about the face, because we still have that running issue throughout these figures, but I think she suffers least, if that helps at all. I do think that she lends herself to being an Ultimate really well. This design in particular, I think, is really nice. I like the blue jumpsuit for her. It's bright, it's vibrant. It very much wouldn't lead you to believe that she is, you know, a terrorist leader, but she does look really good. The suit is nicely done. It's all molded plastic, but it's consistent and clean throughout. She does have the pinstriping on her legs. This holster is removable. I will say that it is kind of troublesome. Like, mine does not exactly want to stay in there, but it's in there, but it kind of a tenuous situation right there. And then we've got our boots, we've got our gloves, which have a nice gloss. They're different. The finish is different. It very much works, that blue and the black with these yellow accents. It's a kind of a goofy suit. I don't think there's any way around that, but I think she looks really good as a result. We have our head sculpt. The head sculpt, I'm quite sure, again, I'm sure the sculpt is there. If anything, I can see it better with this figure than with the other two. She does have the sort of blush on her cheeks. That maybe the glasses are helping break things up a little bit. They're kind of giving that different color, the green on her face. Maybe that's part of what it is. But the lipstick also works. And this hair, while cumbersome and in the way, I think looks really good with how it drapes around her shoulders and over her chest and everything. And she looks really good. The glasses aren't removable. They aren't coming out. But I do think she looks really nice here. Again, it is unfortunate that we still have this problem with these figures, because I think she would look just amazing if this face was fully painted. Thankfully, it's not super glossy, but the lack of paint like I've said with Flint and like I've said with Lady J, leave a lot of these details to be, there's no other word I can really use to describe them, leave them to be a little soft. Now, as far as our size comparisons go, let's start with other Ultimates and start with other Joes. We've got Lady J here on the left, we've got Destro on the right, and just like with Lady J, Baroness is tall. Like, they're all essentially the same size. They're not exactly the same size, but for all intents and purposes, you could say the females are the same height as the males in this line, which really shouldn't be the case. I think Baroness looks fine. I think she could be a taller female figure. I feel like Lady J should be shorter in this regard. I feel like they shouldn't be all the same height. They definitely shouldn't look like this, and I already think that Joes skew on the tall side even for Ultimates. Let's do a few other lines. Let's do a figure art. So here's Turles, because he never leaves the area. Let's take Lady J aside, and here is a Mythic Legion, an orc. And let's take this guy aside, and let's do an Animal Warrior. There's Tiberius. And then let's do one more. Let's do a Hasbro figure. Here is a classified figure. Here's a bat for classified size comparison. And of course, they're not the same scale, so she's of course going to be taller, but this gives you a good idea of exactly how different those two lines are. Now, as far as accessories goes, Baroness, like the rest of this line, comes with a whole bunch of stuff. And to start with, she comes with 3 extra heads. So we've got sort of like her standard one here in the box. We've got this one, which is like a smirking head. And some of this stuff, I just don't remember what it is. So I'm sure someone's already typing in the comments what I'm talking about incorrectly. So we've got a smirking head with the green glasses. We've got, I guess this is supposed to be maybe like a disguise head of some kind, where she's got like blue streaks in her hair, but then she's got different kinds of glasses. All of these heads, again, I think look better than the other 2 figures that don't have any flesh tone paint. And then we've got the gas mask head with the oxygen tank that you can wrap around her. And I think this one, I mean, it's the goofiest head to display her with, but I think it's the coolest at the same time, just because of, well, I guess because of how goofy it is. So that one's pretty specific. We do get a bunch of hands. She's got fists on her in the box. We get like some rifle-style holding hands, but these can also be used as trigger finger hands. She's got a wide grip left hand and a wide grip right hand. You've got a left trigger finger hand, and you've got, this is like the hands that Lady J came with for her spears, but she has a knife that'll work with this. And then you also get this hand, which is definitely unique and is meant for holding a syringe, which this is pretty crazy. So you can actually get this in there, and she's holding the syringe, you know, on the plunger, which I think is pretty crazy. And it's a weird accessory, something I'm actually pretty happy to have, just because of how ridiculous it is. We get the aforementioned knife that goes with that sort of standard just gripping hand. You get like a laser pistol. We get this thing, which I think is the camera gun. It's got a little screen on the back. And then we get this machine gun, or like rifle. It has a strap that I'm really struggling to get to actually go into the port. You actually have to put this on. This strap occupies a spot in the plastic tray, so you've got to actually put it on yourself. But this little one here, for the life of me, cannot get it to go in. So I might have to work at that to get that one to go in. But you've got the rifle. You don't have to use the strap. And then we also get the holster. The holster is something you actually have to put on yourself. And then you've got a pistol in here also. And like I said, mine was kind of difficult to go in. I've got it by now, but then you've got this little baby pistol for her also. So she comes with a bunch of stuff. There's a handful of weapons. You've got the all-important syringe, and then you've got a bunch of different options as far as heads go. So just like the rest of this line, a very, very stacked figure from top to bottom. So overall, while I'm pretty happy with this figure, she's not without her faults, obviously. I mean, the big thing with this figure is the same that's wrong with Flint and Lady J. It's that skin tone flesh issue. It should have been painted. It should look like Duke. It doesn't, and here we are. I do think she suffers least out of the bunch. I mean, she only has her face exposed. She seems to have more paint than the others. And maybe those glasses are helping. Maybe that's what I'm seeing. But otherwise, I do think she looks really good. I like this look for Baroness. It works really well as an Ultimates figure. And then she comes with a really solid array of accessories. It's a lot of stuff that I frankly don't remember specifically, but she has a lot of cool stuff. I love the gas mask head in particular, and she's got a lot of cool weapons on top of that. So that's going to do it for this look at the Super 7 Ultimates G.I. Joe Wave 2 Baroness. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.